What's up, YouTube? A few days ago, I unboxed the Toshiba L875, and I've been using it for the last few days, and I must admit, I'm not extremely happy with the machine, and I'll fire it up and show you a few reasons why. Now, this is just a mini review. This isn't a full review, and I'm just going to pretty much cover the things that made me unhappy. Now, I don't want to nitpick too much about this system, but here's one other thing I don't like, is when you slap in an SD card, it doesn't go all the way in. You know what I mean? It's not flush. So, you know, if you were to get up, it'd be easy to bump into this card and possibly break it, or maybe it will fall out, and, you know, people put their computers all types of places. You could lose your SD card. So, I don't like that this doesn't go flush. It doesn't have like a clicky type of feel, like it clicks in to let you know it's secure. It just slides into a stops, and that's it. It's not snug at all, like on this machine over here where I have an SD card slot. Slide it all the way in until it clicks, and it's in there. You know what I mean? You push it in, has a little spring back action, and it comes out. This machine doesn't have that at all. You just slide it in, and once it's slid in, it's in there. It's not flush once again. So that's another feature I can definitely say I'm not happy with the battery life. Now, this is a 17-inch screen, so you can't expect too much from a 17-inch screen, but there is another 17-inch machine I use, the Sony Vaio, and the battery manages much better. Now, mind you, that the other machine, the Sony Vaio, is older, say close to 2 years old, and this machine, I've had this maybe 6 or 7 days tops, and the battery life is horrendous. I mean, 17-inch laptops or desktop replacements for the most part, so I would say most of the time when you're using a machine like this, you probably will have it plugged in, but you can't take it anywhere. And I've had times when I had this machine unplugged, and I mean, it did last close to 2 hours, but for the most part, brand new out the box. If you're browsing web pages, checking out videos, and doing edits here and there, this battery dies extremely fast. Now, I don't like the way the keys feel when you depress the keys in either. Doesn't really feel like you're pushing anything. I use tablets a lot and a lot of different touchscreen devices, so I would expect that from a tablet or a touchscreen device, but not something with keys. And I'll just zoom in on the keys real quick. Another thing I don't like is the touchpad. Now, I'm happy with the way it feels. It doesn't feel too slick, doesn't feel too rough, but when you're scrolling pages, when you're using the pinch to zoom feature and the scroll, it's kind of tricky to get the sweet spot when you want to touch the zoom or when you want to scroll. So a lot of the other machines I use, it's extremely intuitive. And let me take a break because there goes my phone. Alright, so I'm back. Let me just do a search on here. I'll just search for bikes. But back to what I was saying about the mouse pad. It's not very intuitive. I mean, you can feel when you're toward the edge, but in terms of the pinch to zoom, it's very tricky to feel the sweet spot. And everybody is going to have a different feel when they do those type of things, so I'm not going to give you a physical example, but just for me, from my own personal self, I have an issue with that. And also with the scrolling, I've had an issue with that too. That's not the spot. That's the spot right there, and you would expect that spot to be very close to the edge. But when you touch very close to the edge, well, see, right now it's working. It's working right now. But see, look. So I slid my finger down, and now when you go back to the screen, it's working. But I've noticed issues with that. It doesn't always work that way. Sometimes, you know, your finger, you would think it's in a sweet spot, and it's not. On to the battery, and I'm gonna unplug it. And I'm using DJ software. When I first set everything up, I had loaded all my songs to the machine, and I would say it took a good 20 minutes to half an hour for the machine to read all my songs, because the software I use reads your music and reads the ID3 tag, so when you pull up the song, all the information shows up, which is a pretty basic feature for a lot of DJ software. But I want to show you how fast this battery drains. So I loaded the software up that I use, and you can virtually watch the battery melt away. Now, the first time I used this system on battery, like I said, I was browsing the web. I really learned how fast this system dies once I hooked the software up. Now, I do use this software on an older system I have, and the battery doesn't die nowhere near twice as fast. It's the HP ProBook 4520S. So, I'm not playing any songs right now. I mean, I'm pretty sure playing a song will help it drain even faster. But as I'm talking, we can just watch this battery just melt away. Let's see if we can get a zoom in there. It's at 98%. That's not too good. Yeah, there we go. So there, I recognize and I'm using the Novation Twitch for those of you who don't know. Well, for those of you who DJ and are interested, what I just plugged in is the Novation Twitch. And any second now, you ought to see. I'm not sure how well this is coming through. I need to get screen capture software. But we'll start to see that battery fade away. I mean, without me even playing songs, if I start playing songs, I can probably sit here and talk for a good 10 minutes and we'll watch this battery drop down to about 30%. The battery life isn't good whatsoever on this machine. And I mean, I just had it plugged in. It was 100%. I unplugged the battery and bam, it went to 98% just from me unplugging it. So now we're down to 97% already. So the battery life, if you want a machine that has good battery life, this is not the one. Some other issues I've had is with loading software, just from all various different companies and all. You know, I've loaded software and sometimes it just purely hasn't worked at all, or you know, I run into a hiccup here and there, or I run the installer and it takes about a good minute to 2 minutes for the installer to start up. I'm just like, yo, what is going on? Is this thing defective? Or I've ran plenty of tests and I haven't noticed any defects, and other things run fine, but this system is definitely quirky when it comes to installing software. The sound isn't great either. I mean, how much can you expect for a sub $1,000 computer? But the sound, I'm not too happy with the sound. I don't have any speakers hooked up, but once you start running music through this thing, the battery really starts to die fast. And I mean, this software is relatively, the software and the hardware is going to make any other system die fast within itself. But this system, the battery dies extremely fast. So now I'm playing some things here, and I'll get a close-up on the battery. Bam, 96%. You know what I mean? So once you really start doing some complex functions on this thing and trying to get in and out, the battery life just saps away. So, matter of fact, let me pause these songs. I'll get out of here and go back in. Video. I edited a video on here and I ran into a problem with RAM, believe it or not. And the RAM has 6 gigabytes of RAM. I don't know what was up with that, but I had an issue with the RAM, believe it or not, and you know, it told me I didn't have enough RAM available. Now, this system did come with a ton of bloatware and a lot of software that runs in the background, so you'll just be on here going about your business, and then bam, out of the blue, it pops up, do you want Toshiba DVD Blu-ray service? No, I don't want that. You know what I mean? So you're going along your way another day, and another pop-up comes up. I just unhooked everything and hooked it back up, and what do you see? the battery's at 94%. So I don't know. The battery life for this thing isn't great at all. I've also had issues with editing software. This has 6 gigabytes of RAM. I had a video that was probably 4 or 5 minutes long, HD, and I didn't do any complex edits. I just did some basic cuts and just some basic transitions, and it told me I ran out of RAM. So that was confusing. And I know there could have been things running in the background, but I mean, how complex of a program was running in the background that I ran out of RAM. So there's the battery again at 94%. I have video DJ software on this system that I use, what I'm just experimenting with, and transitioning between videos. It looks extremely slow and clunky, and it has glitches in it, and I wouldn't expect that from a machine that's as powerful as this one. So I don't know if they need to send a patch or update for the video card or the motherboard or what it is, but overall I'm not extremely happy with this system. I'm okay with the mouse. I mean, I would probably give the mouse a 7 out of 10. I could deal with it, but like I said, the scrolling's not all that intuitive. The machine turns on and shuts down extremely fast. So here's the battery here at 93%. So I'll shut this down and get out of this, just to show you how fast it shuts down and boots up. I thought I'd just back this up, whatever. So it's shutting down. That's the longest I've seen it shut down since I owned it. Let's power it back up. It's taking a little longer than normal, but I mean, this is still relatively quick. There are systems that are much faster, but for the price and what we're getting here, this is relatively fast. Let me log in real quick. And once everything comes up and once the screen is up, you're ready to go. See, everything's loaded. So overall, it starts up fast. It has a nice looking screen. Performance is relatively good in terms of when you're operating applications and all that, but outside of that, I'm not too crazy about it. I don't know how the webcam works. I don't know how that looks. I haven't used that yet. Don't plan on using that much. Web browsing is okay. I mean, I've had a few hang-ups here and there. Not complete crashes, but you know, maybe sometimes something takes a little longer to load than something else. Once again, I do not like the battery at all. I hate the battery on the system. Let's see what the percentage is now. So we're at 92%, 3 hours and 59 minutes, but that's completely inaccurate. I'm not happy with the video performance, not to mention using the external video card. I've used that and it doesn't look that great. Don't know how the DVD player works or the Blu-ray player. Haven't used that. This machine is okay, but I think you can do better in the $500 to $600 range. So that's my mini review on a Toshiba L875. Whatever I pick up next, I'll definitely be sure to give you guys a little mini review and a open box to let you guys see what it looks like once you open it up. Oh, another thing, I didn't have to register this. All my other Windows 7 machines, I've had to register. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe this is already used. Who knows? But, I mean, I bought it brand new from the store inside the box, but I don't know why it never asked me to register the system. But anyway, that's my review. I'll be back soon. Holler at y'all later.